G'day traders, welcome to wrap up of Wednesday the 15th of February. So approach today, same situation that we have been all week. Once again, we're still sitting at the highs of the market and just waiting for the market to pull back to give us the market a little bit more free range and some option to start getting some more trends and some more movement. Looks like we're starting to get that this particular day, Wednesday. The market pulled back quite a decent amount. We've seen quite a few power points hit today and some really good movement. So hopefully this is the start of things to come, and it's definitely what we wanted to see. But just from looking at these market and trading this particular day, I don't know what other traders thought, but just because there's more movement and more power points being hit doesn't necessarily make it an easier market to trade. I know in the past, even though with these slower markets there's maybe been fewer opportunities, which can be frustrating, but they tend to be a market that's quite controllable and feel like you're in control. So it's great to get experience and look at it as getting experience in all different types of markets. It looks like it could be picking up now, but seeing those slow markets, there's still opportunities in slow markets, and you still got to see it as a way of gaining experience in all types of markets, whether they're slow, fast, or medium. So it's a good way to look at it. As far as the day goes, you can see this first period here on this 5-minute chart, 5-minute chart being on the left, 1-minute chart on the right. Up until lunchtime, we had very much sideways action. We had great potential to stay in the morning. There was quite a few contracts on the dome, up over 400,000 to start off the day, which we haven't had for a while, since the beginning of the month. So the potential's there, but it just did go sideways between power points. You can see in the 1-minute chart here, 4 power points in a row worked before this one up here failed. So it was building pressure. As far as looking for trades, you can see on the 5-minute chart, it's very sideways, a little bit messy. And in this particular case, the 1-minute chart actually shows a little bit clearer, and the only thing we're looking for maybe in this particular circumstance is power fade. As this market builds pressure, it's compressing like a spring when it's bouncing between these power points, and then we're looking for a breakout at some stage, but no real major opportunities in the morning time leading up to lunch. Then we started to get this trend here, so you always want to be looking and counting trends and then looking for power points, pullbacks. So this particular case here, we've got a trend up. All of a sudden the market's showing some movement, showing some direction. So there's about a 6-point movement there. Then a pullback, a couple of points. So this was actually a 5-minute fade to buy here. So pretty good setup. As far as setups goes, it's not too bad. Even though it's obviously hasn't worked and it's failed dismally, it's actually an area where the market's completely turned around and headed to the downside. But you can't pick that. You've got to trade with your areas or with your edge or with the probability. And the probability was that this was not a bad area, and a lot of times this would work. In this particular case, it's failed. It's just worth noting that it's failed, and next time it could be due for a winner. So from there, we've pushed down, and once again we've got a new trend starting. Got a 12-point movement to the downside, which is fantastic to see. So just looking at the two charts separately for a second, on the 1-minute chart, we've pushed down through 4 power points, and we've seen our first yellow hit, first time in a while. Then we've got a power point pullback, so you're looking at the purple here. So this particular case, the purple quite often is a great one to take with the downside, and this one worked well. However, when you've got quite a decent trend here, when you're talking 11, 12 points, quite often you want to look for the second power point. There's maybe a better one to look for, because with a bigger trend comes a bigger pullback. So this grey normally works quite well, especially if this purple failed. So I had to push through a little bit further, and you got the grey up here. Would have been a really good one to look at. It still worked, but worth noting that the second one is probably the better one to look in this particular case. Then from there we've got some quite erratic movement. A little bit hard to follow, especially after our eyes are used to such slower markets. But we hit quite a few. What's that? 3, 4. Getting towards 10 power points in just in this last couple of hours, but no real structure right to the end as far as this 1-minute chart looks. But it's looking at the 5-minute chart, so once again we're looking for this downtrend, looking for the pullback and the continuation on the downside. So there's a 5-minute signal came up here. It was just within the lows, so as far as an actual signal coming up, it wasn't there, but depending on your trading plan, it was an opportunity definitely to sell and look to get that continuation on the downside. Then we've got the market pulling back again. So sometimes this 5-minute chart just does a better job at just showing the overall movement of the market. Looking at the 1-minute chart there, the afternoon got a bit messy, but the 1 minute you can see pullback, continuation. It's broken through this little swing low area here, which is good to see. So there's still a lot of sellers around. The sellers are definitely in control. Then it's pulled back a second time and pushed down again. So a second pullback there was an area to take advantage of as well, as far as power fading or power point, retracement power points, whatever trade you look at. But just note that the sellers are continuing and pushing lower, so it's well worth taking advantage of this second pullback, and you want to see all the other markets having a continuation here and creating pressure on the downside. So that second pullback continued, pushed the market lower, and then we just a bit popped up there just towards the end of the day. So that's the day, Wednesday wrap up, and we'll speak to you guys tomorrow.